My name's Nadine Persaud. I'm Senior Marketing Manager at RCA, which is part of the Sony Music Group, and I currently look after Laura and Vila, Paloma Faith and Miley Cyrus on my roster. It's not really changed. It's always been the same thing, which I guess is why I do my job. I think music has such an incredible ability to change your emotions and your feelings and your life to some respects. I've played music, not to any great standard, but that was always important to me when I was young. And I think remembering hearing certain records in my life as a child or as a teenager, or even still now, but certainly hearing Tracy Chapman for the first time, or hearing Nina Simone for the first time, or Marvin Gaye, I remember all those moments very clearly. So it's exactly the same thing when I hear a great record now or a great new artist. I still have exactly the same emotions, and it stops you in your tracks. So that's why I do what I do, I think. Yeah, well, I think it can be. I think in principle it's a great thing to do. I think when it comes to the detail, which is what I often have to deal with, it's slightly harder because brands have very different objectives to artists and to record labels. Sometimes it's something as basic as timescale. Brands work on really long timescale, we work on very short ones. Brands have always got their product at the forefront, and obviously we want to make sure that our artist is promoting their brand or reflecting it in the right way, but our artist is at the forefront of whatever we're doing. And some artists find that it cheapens what they're trying to do to have a brand label or logo stamped over their flyers or their website. So a lot of what I do is about making sure that balance is right, working with brands to make sure that we do talk about what they do in the right way and reflect their goals, but in a way that doesn't necessarily affect or cheapen, is a harsh word, but cheapen what our artist stands for. Yeah, I think there are quite a few examples. We worked with Marks and Spencer's on the Laura and Vila campaign, which it was really good to work with Marks and Spencer's. They really understood what we were trying to do, and we fully understood what they were trying to do. So I think we struck quite a good balance, and it was a good time of our campaign. I think John Lewis has done it really well. I think that's a really obvious example, but what they're trying to do is use music very, very urgently and put visuals alongside it that represent their brand, and us being able to provide that music means there's room for us to promote that artist and that song in other areas. So that seems to be really working for both parties, and again with the Lily Allen and Keane Christmas ad. So I think in this example you've got Lily Allen, Keane, Watership Down and John Lewis all benefiting from exposure. So yeah, I think those are good examples. I think there have been, I won't give exact examples, but I think ones, I always look at it from the artist side, so ones where the match hasn't been right and it's made people think very, very differently about the act. And actually put people off. I think, that's what's got to be avoided. You really have to agree about what your brand stands for and what your artist stands for. And when the artist doesn't know, I think that's when you get into problems, because brands normally do, and artists have the ability to change what they stand for quite regularly, so that makes it a bit harder. I think now is a really exciting time to be a fan, because I think there's more choice than there's ever been, which is really down to the kind of increase in digital activity and everyone being online. You can dig out old acts, new acts, follow them, find out everything about their lives. You can know whatever you want to know about an artist these days. But I would say that I think definitely in the last 5 to 10 years we've seen that idea of movements being associated with music kind of disappear. And I think One Direction has done it brilliantly. They have a huge sort of swathe of people who all dress the same, think the same, love this act, but love everything associated with it. But certainly when I was younger, you used to see that a lot more, whether that was kind of the age of indie, and whether you were a Blur fan or you were an Oasis fan, or whether you were into the rave scene or there were just so many more different scenes and movements, and maybe that collectiveness of being part of a movement and a scene has gone. It's much more transient. Dubstep came and went within about 18 months, really. So it is exciting in terms of choice, but yeah, I don't think there's that movement that we used to see, which I think was very exciting as a fan. The perfect way for me to enjoy music really depends on my mood. For me, I'm a drum and bass girl, so being at a rave with 2,000 other people, all just having the time of your life, I don't think I can top that. Although going to an amazing show like a Beyonce show, where it's just fabulous and over the top, for me it's about collectiveness rather than just personal enjoyment. So anything with a few thousand other people having a great time is great.